Hi guys, I'm Jenny. Welcome to my channel where we focus on using ordinary materials to make beautiful things. Today I am playing along with the full deck challenge number 2, and this is card 6. I am going to link the channel for Sunuki Arts below. She is the one who sponsors the full deck challenge, and she has all the information about it. This is her second round. She's already done one full deck, and I didn't manage to keep up with the first one. I kind of joined late, and then I just never got caught up. So I am intent on making sure that I get through the second full deck challenge with her. So she recently posted number 6, so I am doing that one today on camera here. I did the first one on camera as well a few weeks ago, and in between I have posted pictures of cards 2, 3, 4, and 5 to social media accounts, but I did not do a video for those. So I just thought I would drop in and do a quick little video to show you my take on this card. Her cards are absolutely beautiful, so I hope you will go over, just follow that link and go over and check out her channel and her cards, and maybe play along. It's early, we're only on card number 6, so it would be a good time to grab a deck of cards and play along. So the prompts for this card are the color turquoise, black mark making, flowers, and sheet music. So you can see I am starting my card with a background of turquoise tissue paper. I am doing several layers to get that much darker blue color so that it's not quite so light, that it really is more of a turquoise look to it. So I've got some layers going there. A lot of people use Mod Podge to do their layering and gluing on of large things like napkins and tissue. Um, I am using, excuse me, I am using wallpaper border paste. This comes in a very large tub. It costs about $8 for the large tub. And I just bought another tub because the one I have is starting to run out. It's getting pretty low, and I wanted to make sure I had one on backup. I get them at the big box hardware stores, so mine came from Lowe's, but I'm sure other places have them too. Walmart might have it. You might be able to get it. Any place that sells wallpaper, I'm sure, would have it. But it just seems like a really good low-cost alternative to some of the other more expensive layering glues. It works on heavier paper as well since it's made for wallpaper and like vinyl wallpaper. It's made for that, so it holds that kind of stuff. So now I'm starting with the black mark making, and I'm just going to kind of doodle in the corners and up the edges. I don't want the two sides to be the same, so I'm just kind of doing like a kind of, free form sun or flower or something in the corner down there, and then I'm going to do a little bit different one, same kind of shape with different kind of marks on it in the corner on the right. And after I did it, I wasn't really crazy about the marks on the right, but that's okay because later on I'm just going to cover it up with the sentiment, and we're going to knock some of those lines back into the background a little bit with another layer of tissue. So here's my idea with this. I have this blue zipper, and I thought I would put it on the card, to make, and with the paper, some paper behind it to make it look like it's being unzipped to reveal something on the card. I have seen cards where they actually sew the zipper on and cut part of the card so that you can actually maybe unzip the card. I haven't tried that yet. I think that would be a lot of fun. I didn't want to get out my sewing machine today to do this, so I decided to just kind of stick with the impression that there's a zipper there. So now I'm just kind of marking where that zipper is going to go so I know where to put the sheet music, because I'm going to put that in the background up there. And it didn't show up very well, but hopefully you can see I kind of just did a little outlining there. I just need to, stay stay with that little V shape so that my zipper covers the edge of the paper. That's really all I'm after, is I just want to make sure that I get a clean separation between that turquoise blue tissue background and the music paper that's going in the center of the zipper. So the full deck challenge is a lot of fun. If you haven't tried it, it's a good time. It's a good way to do a small project, something that you can do, fairly quickly, but it's very creative. It kind of tests your creativity to see what you can come up with from her prompts, to see what you might make out of these things, to see what she makes, to see what other people make. If you join the challenge, excuse me, there is a Facebook group that has quite a few people in it, and we all post our cards. So you get to see all of the different ways people interpret the prompts, and it's really interesting and it's really fun too. And there are some really very creative people in this group, and they make some gorgeous cards. Some of them are just gorgeous. Um, so I decided here that those black marks were a little dark for me. I still want to see them, but I really want them to be in the background. So I thought another layer of that blue tissue would be a good way to do that. It would intensify that turquoise blue color, and it would knock that into the background a little bit so it's not quite so prominent down there on the bottom. So especially the one on the right, I just wasn't real crazy about it. The one on the left is a little better, I think. It just turned out a little better. Maybe I should have, repeated that on the right, but this is one of those things that you do it and you learn as you go, and you decide later. It's like, oh, I could have done this differently, but it's just part of the learning process. And a playing card's a good way to do that. So I have these jumbo playing cards that I got at a thrift shop for like a quarter. They're marked 50 cents, but it was like half off day. So I mean, literally, I paid 25 cents for these cards. And I love them. They're these oversized jumbo cards. So I have a hard time doing things that are too small. I just have a hard time keeping images that small and things. So I really like the size of this card, and I'm sure that part of the challenge would be to have smaller cards. So, if I get through this challenge, maybe I'll go back and do full deck number one in a regular size playing card. That might be, a different challenge entirely, because it's not quite so much space to work in. So, but for now, I really love these cards, and so that looks good, I think. I'm really liking how that zipper looks there. It gives it a nice differentiation. And so there's my idea that I have these flowers that are going to kind of pop out from the zipper, on one side and up over the other edge. So I'm using art glitter glue here. I'm using the fabric art glitter glue, but I'm sure regular art glitter glue would work just as well. Um, I just happen to have the fabric kind. So this flower, I have to tell you, came from one of those calendars that you can make. You can get the calendar and then you sew on all the sequins and beads and decorate it, and you have this calendar for the year. And my mother-in-law used to make me a calendar every year, and it had different motifs on it. Some of them there were cats and books and flowers. And at the end of the year, when the calendar expired, I would cut that part off and I would save the top and the edges and all the decorated part where she had sewn all of the sequins and beads on. So that's what this came from. So I have little pieces of these calendars kind of cut up in different forms to go on projects. And I really love using them because, well, me and bling, no such thing as too much bling. So that's kind of it's kind of fun because it's fun to have something that somebody else made in your project. And it's fun because it definitely is my style with all those sequins. And so now I have pulled out a tub of embellishments here. So I'm just trying to figure out what's gonna be the best to kind of decorate this card a little bit. So as usual, I have my bejeweled mesh there, and I'm thinking about that. But then, of course, I unrolled this glitzy, um, yeah, this glitzy rickrack, and that was kind of, you know, that really stole the show for me. I went ahead and cut apart, you know, a length of that mesh beading just to see how that would look with it. And I just kept trying, and it just didn't seem like the thing. But that rickrack, I really love that. So that's what I ended up going with. You can see I'm just gonna pop that down here. I don't know about you, but I always have some trouble putting lace and rickrack and trims and things like that onto projects. It's hard to figure out where to glue it. So the rickrack, I did it in all the little, each of the little curvy things just got a little dot. But lace is particularly challenging. I think you have to figure out some spots to glue down, and then maybe glue something over it so that whatever you glue over it can hold the lace down. But it can be challenging, I think, with some of the trims, especially some of the ones that are fancier. I think they're a little harder to glue at times. So I'm really loving that rickrack on here. It seems like that's a good outline there, but I still want some jewels. But I keep putting that line of jewels down, and I just really am not loving it. I look at it and I think it's just not really what I want. And so while I'm thinking about it, I find something to put in the center there, at the top of the zipper. So I've just kind of got a little rose sitting there. So I decided that maybe some different jewels would be in order, and I found some that were kind of a really pretty blue that matched it really well. And so I thought I would just in each little indentation with the rickrack, I could just put some jewels there. And so that seemed like a good way to go, without using that big long line of the jewels, but still having some of those, sparklies on there, right? I just have to have the sparklies. It's just no fun if you don't. At least in my book. At least in my book, it's much more fun if you have sparkles. So I don't know about you, but I struggle a little bit with the gems. I love them, but I have trouble with them. So, and my trouble's twofold. First of all, they're small, and my fingers tend not to do really small things very easily. So, and then of course, I get my fingers sticky. I get glue on them, and then I just have trouble getting them to get off of my finger and get onto whatever it is I'm gluing them down to. They want to stick to me instead of the project, so that's sometimes a problem. Um, so I keep saying that I'm gonna buy a nice pair of tweezers so that I can use that to put the gems on, and that way my fingers won't stick, and maybe it'll be a little bit easier, um, to get the gems in place. But I just never do. I think I start doing things, and I just get excited and start putting jewels on, and it doesn't occur to me until partway through that I really should have some kind of tool to do that with. And so then later, when I should buy the tool, I don't. So here you can see I have managed to use my scissors a little bit, just the edge of the scissors, to kind of pop them down so that they don't stick to my fingers. So that seemed to help. And I was kind of moving along here. They were sticking better to the background. So almost done with those. And you can see that those the mark making with the black marks in the background just kind of makes a nice little design back there. But with that extra tissue over the top of it, it really puts it definitely into the background. And so that seems like a good choice there. So I'm trying to clean up a few things here because my cat is sitting right across from me. She's off camera, but she's sitting across from me watching intently, waiting to grab, all of the stuff. If should I leave it lying where she can, pounce on it. So she's taking a look at it there. She's also looking at my bin because there are some feathers in the bin, and so that is definitely, her purview there. So I was trying to pick it up and put it away before she pounced into the middle of the project. So I have a little sentiment box here then that I am looking for a few things. So I am trying to find maybe three or so different things to choose from. When I hit three, then that's kind of enough to choose from. I'm trying really hard to get over that idea that I have to have just the exactly right thing, because whatever I choose is going to be just fine. So I don't have to go through everything to get the right thing. So I have found one then, and it says, um, what is it? Pass not unnoticed. And with all that bling, I don't know how you could pass unnoticed anyway. So that's just going to go down in the bottom. And again, that's going to help cover up some of that mark making on that right side that I wasn't too crazy about. So I think that's a good choice down there. I think there's only one card so far that I haven't put a sentiment on. And that is one of the things that the gal who runs Sunuki Arts said that she was going to try to do this year was put a sentiment on all of her cards. And I tend not to do that except for on my like motivational Monday layouts. So I'm thinking that that's a good idea to try to put something on here. So I have one card that I did not put something on that I need to go back and redo. So you can see here as I was trimming, I lost one of the sequins. I have to put that back on, but that popped right back in place. So now we're ready to get that sentiment down. And then once that goes down, it will just be a matter of doing a little bit of outlining on it to set it apart. And that's kind of where we are now. Just going to use a Sharpie and do some outlining and then doing a little bit of shadow across the top and the right side, just to make it come up off that background a little bit, give it more of a finished look. I think outlining things really tends to help make them pop. So words or a main image, if you've got especially a busy background, any kind of background that's might be distracting, it's a good way to go. So that's just finishing up that card, and so I think we're calling it done. Hope you had a good time. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Until then, remember, use what you have to make your life more beautiful. Bye.